Hey Legionnaires, and welcome back. We're here with another 12-12 AD Siege battle for you today, and this is a glorious 3v3 that we did do on the stream a few weeks ago now. And we have the Latin Empire here, already sallying out with their Chevaliers, getting focused down by these crossbows from the Holy Roman Empire. We're putting some brutal volleys here with their crossbows in there. Jeez, crossbows are a nasty, nasty force, especially these mercenary Genoese crossbows here. But yeah, so this is a 3v3 that we did on the channel a few weeks ago in a stream. It was really, really fun and really close siege battle as well. We have the Latins here, allied with Denmark, and I believe also the Ubids are over here somewhere as well. I think they're over here, yeah, defending this gate. And on the attack today, we do have the Holy Roman Empire, as we saw. We also have Venice, and over on this side here, we have Brabant. So you could say a bit of a, like, this is the Empire uniting together along with Venice. I don't know, taking on the Latins. I guess Venice has given up supporting the Latin Empire and is now wanting to betray them and maybe put a new regime in charge of Constantinople. Who knows? Some weird scenario. But it's going to be a glorious 3v3, that is for sure. I'm really looking forward to it. And yeah, one of the things that is obviously going to be a pain now in sieges is that crossbows can arc. It's obviously going to be very good on if you're a attacker. It's going to be a pain if you're a defender to have to try and deal with, because the crossbow is going to become more and more important now in siege battles. I mean, I'm bringing up my own crossbows here, my own Pavis, coming up to try and duel with the Genoese crossbows here and try and get some volleys off onto them. But I mean, they've probably got pretty decent missile block because they have these massive shields that they use to block with. But yeah, off they go, running away. You cowards. Come back and fight. We've got lots of dismounted Imperial Ritter here, tier 1, because they are like a shock infantry unit. It's a very sneaky way to get around the shock infantry rule, playing as the HRE. But we will see whether it pays off, that is for sure. Over here with the Holy Roman Emperor. He's getting ready to charge out and try to do some damage. We've got more Latin Chevaliers charging out here as well, trying to get some decent hits onto this infantry here. I mean, killing like 20 or so is not bad. It's not a bad start. And I mean, there's the other side of the battlefield where the crossbows aren't able to threaten. We have the Doge's bodyguard as well here, looking maybe for some looking for an opportunity maybe to charge this cavalry. I mean, we've got some pretty solid units inside waiting. We've got heavy halberdiers here from Denmark. These guys are pretty awesome, just head to toe in steel. They're going to be a pretty annoying defense of the last stand. I imagine that's where it'll come down to. This last stand is pretty nasty as well. We've got some more heavy halberdiers over here, actually. And there's like just 2 bridges. It's the way across into this last stand. So it is a bit of a pain. It'll certainly be a fun one, that is for sure. You can see here the spears waiting, ready. We've got a general. We've got a trebuchet back here as well, looking for some decent shots onto the attackers. I mean, it's got pretty good range, that's for sure. I think the only artillery, there's only 1 artillery per team, so the attackers brought a great bombard. Brabant has brought that. And then, yeah, we have the trebuchet on the other side over there. I think troops are starting to land now. We've got foot chevaliers on the wall here, and they'll be taking on dismounted Imperial Ritter of the HRE. We'll see how that one goes down. Like I said, they do kind of act like shock infantry, so they might do pretty well on this wall, to be fair. The Latin Empire, I think, have got some of the best looking tier 1 infantry. They really do. They look awesome. I'm a big fan of that look. Like the red and gold sort of look are very, very fun. Yeah, they are very much landed on the walls there. It seems like crossbows are just going to continue to harass. I think one of my units was getting like focused on like a bunch. I can't see if it's still up there. But we've got also the Danish now defending on this side here. What we've got here, I think these are Huskars. Against dismounted Imperial Ritter again. I think these are tier 2 Huskars though, so they should, they should do okay in this fight. It'd be great if I could tell, yeah, tier 2. There you go. Yes, if you want to get involved in some of these 12-12 battles and you're struggling to find games, feel free to join the Discord. The link is down below in the description of the video. And yeah, if you want to get involved or send your own replays to then feature on the channel, then feel free to join the Discord. There is a channel where you can drop all your replays, and then hopefully you'll get it featured on the channel, especially if it's a close one and a very like epic one. It'll definitely get featured on the channel. The closer the battle, the better. And we've got some Chevaliers now coming out this gate again. I think they're going to go and try and harass this dismounted Imperial Ritter over here. We've got generals that are shifting over. We've got the Holy Roman Emperor here. He looks like he's going to come over. It's a tier 3 against a tier 1, so this is not a fight that the Chevaliers can win. But I had a little bit of a plan. I was like, right, I'll keep the Chevaliers here, and then we'll send the spears out if necessary to try and catch this general, and then we'll use the spears and these 4 towers here against him. But then smartly the HRE here uses his crossbows and he starts to focus down these Chevaliers, and yeah, they start to put some pretty decent damage into my Chevaliers, and yeah, they are weakened now, down to 40 odd men. These like crossbows are laser pointed. Like the amount of kills they get is insane. But I guess that's what tier 1 does against tier 3, sorry, does against tier 1. They just annihilate you. We've got Fanti Damara on the walls here. They're taking on some of the Ayubid troops here. Some Ayubid spears. These Fanti Damara are like one of the few tier 3 heavy sword infantry. Sorry, it seems like a thing that the Italian states can bring is a tier 3 heavy infantry. Most heavy infantry is tier 1 because it's like foot knights and things like that. It seems to go out of fashion during the like tier 2 and tier 3, but the Italians hold on to them. So these Fanti Damara heavy melee infantry, they're going to be a problem to deal with, that is for sure. And we are also focusing down the Doge's bodyguard here, trying to do some damage to him. It's not a bad idea. Try and kill him off a little bit. But yeah, already these dismounted Imperial Ritter on the wall here. They are slowly killing off the defenders. There was no like tier limitation, so you could bring any tier you wanted. So yeah, I think most of the attackers have brought tier 3. There is some tier like 1s obviously with these swords, but yeah, most of the attackers have brought tier 3, I think, because it gives them a little bit of an advantage. Most of the defenders have brought tier 2 and tier 1. There's only a few key units that I think are like tier 3. Fanti Damara though forcing their ways on the wall onto the wall here. They've got the Latin Chevaliers trying to hold them back. While Latin Chevaliers are also heavy melee infantry, but they're not tier 3. That's the only problem. There's a few of them there on the wall. They've got like this. I do like this yellow and red sort of look that they have going. The Italian states really have like a very strange shaped shield, that is for sure. A breach has been opened in the wall over here. The Great Bombard did do its work. It opened up a breach here and knocked down one tower, which killed quite a few infantry. And we also have some hybrids over here, some dismounted Mamluks, and they are going to be firing onto the wall. They're a pretty good unit to bring, that's for sure, for a siege battle. Certainly as a defender, a hybrid unit is certainly a good addition to the defense, because they are both a pretty good bow unit and heavily armored bow unit as well. And they're also a good melee infantry unit as well. So yeah, they are going to be very much appreciated in this fight here. Got some medium spear infantry here holding the walls, well, holding the breach. Just making sure, I guess, no cavalry can rush through, because Brabant has brought weirdly a lot of cavalry for a siege battle. He brought 2 sergeants, which, I mean, I guess that's not too many, but it seems I would have brought maybe 1 and then used also my general as a mounted unit if I needed to defend against anything. But there's no real risk of any sally outs, apart from the Latin Chevalier, which did try and do a little bit of a sally out. But yeah, there's no like faction that I would have thought, oh, they're going to go all cav and sally. So bringing that much cavalry, I think it was maybe a little too much. But I guess it can be useful if they can break inside the city. You can do some pretty good charges. That is for sure. You got the spears here waiting. Looks like Brabant is about to muster an assault in there, and it looks like it's a tier 3 sergeant unit coming in first. Whether they're going to come in, I do not know. A tower did get captured somewhere. It's this one over here. I don't know whether this was captured or destroyed, but it seems like it did a lot of damage to these Adath spears here again. And here we go. The sergeants are rushing in, and there you go. The choke point is now being fought over here. The spears hopefully should be able to hold these guys back a fair while. If they wanted to, these Mamluks could turn around and start shooting into the flank of those sergeants. That's be what I'd try and do, because it doesn't seem like they're having much joy shooting onto these walls here. Though one of the Fanti Damar is losing, which is always good to see. My Chevalier's having a real rough time on this wall, fighting against Fanti Damar. But yeah, I mean, both sides started with about 5,900 men. The attackers now have a 600-man advantage. They've really opened that up quite quickly. So yeah, the defenders only managed to kill 300 attackers, which is not a good sign, because, you know, the defenders are the defenses. They should be inflicting a decent amount of losses.
The enemy have rallied their units.
Denmark on this side is having a lot more success with the Spear Huskars. He's killing off the HRE here with his Huskars and Spear Huskars, it seems. Just everything's named a Huskar. Yeah, these shock infantry / swords, they're getting tied down for now. Dismounted Imperial Ritter there. They seem like they're doing okay. I mean, the Brabazonian crossbows here are trying to fire into the wall, trying to do some damage to these guys. And yeah, there are crossbows now landing on the walls, which is never a good sign for a defender. If you've got, like, the enemy have got, like, archers on your walls, they're going to have the better angle and be able to fire down. And as you can see, there's nothing really down here. There's these Brabazonian crossbows that are a threat, but that is it. I sent some spears up onto the wall. The sergeants here to try and reclaim the walls, or just to tie down the crossbows. But at this point, it's looking increasingly like we're going to have to retreat from the walls. The wall fight is just not working for us defenders here. And yeah, it looks like these guys are going to have to retreat. I think, yeah, you can see a general retreat is being called. Spears and crossbows are retreating on my side. The gates have been captured here, which is great, because that just collapsed and killed a whole bunch of crossbows here. That was really, really nice to see. But yeah, and then we've got swords here that are looking for opportunities both sides. Dismounted Imperial Ritter routing there as well. Whether they were crushed by the tower, I don't know. But this does mean now with the tower collapsing there, a lot of Danish troops are trapped in the wall. Well, I say a lot, a whole unit of Spear Huskars, which is quite a lot, I guess, with the defenders. And we've got Latin Chevaliers here. I think they're just looking for opportunities. If anything comes off the walls, they can charge it. Isn't anything just yet. We are going to see the Holy Roman Emperor. He looks like he's going to make a move and come inside. This is really bold. Like, he's the first unit that's going to be in here, and he could get swarmed. There is Latin Chevaliers here currently that are waiting for the opportunity. And here they go. They're going to charge in on that general. The HRE, I mean, I don't know what the pathfinding was there, but that was excellent, guys. Well done. Well done. And now I'm desperately bringing up spears here. We've got some sergeants on the way up. I just got my crossbows firing. I was like, you need to get in there, try and kill these guys. But yeah, the Chevalier's breaking. Haven't really achieved too much, I feel. And yeah, the HRE, like, general is going to retreat. Well, not retreat. He's kind of still advancing, I guess. If he was retreating, he should have gone out the gate. He is seeing an opportunity to go for these gunners here. My gunners are now going to retreat. I was like, I'm not having these guys die as well. But yeah, so I've got the general here for the Ayubas. He looks like he might go in. This is a tier 3 versus tier 2. I'll have to see whether this pulls off. I mean, he did actually charge into a little sword unit. And that slowed his charge down. And now they're going to get the charge. And the Holy Roman Emperor is retreating. He's causing him to lose. I was trying to get my gunners to try and maybe get around the flanks and try and do some damage. They also have spears now that are trying to get in and surround this general. And pikes going in here. We've got some Swiss pikes going in to try and help support their general. I just need to get these spears. If I get these spears in and surround this this general, we're in business. I don't know why I made the decision now to retreat the pikes, but I did. I should have just gone and surrounded this this general here, but he's doing okay. So I was like, I guess maybe we're gonna it's a fight we'll win easily. So I'll just leave him here. Yeah, really I should have sent the spears in, surrounded this guy, sealed his fate. Not just left it up to the chances. The Holy Roman Emperor is there with his golden helmet on. I mean, he's lost a fair few men, but he's not lost, like, loads. I mean, at the same time, the bodyguard here for the Ubers only lost 3. They're doing a pretty good job. Oh, jeez, this is not so good. The spears here. Even though they caught these pikes kind of out of position, I think they're getting focused down. It's certainly not helping when you're firing point-blank shots like this. The gunners firing point-blank shots at these sergeants, routing them. That is brutal. That is actually brutal. Over on this side, yeah, still general losing. We are seeing now a light melee infantry maybe come into the fight, come and help that fight there. Crossbows and gunners coming up to support as well. I mean, these spears are just getting absolutely trounced by the Swiss pikes. That is sad to see. The fight over here, the breach point. It's been a long, hard fight here. These spears have held for quite a while against a whole host of Venetian and Brabantian troops. And we have got more Brabant troops now landing on the walls and now flanking the spears. And they are going to take this this choke point for themselves. You imagine.
Our men return to the fight.
But yeah, I mean, they've done a pretty decent job. These dismounted Mamluks want to get back. They're an expensive unit. Get them back for a later fight. They're a pretty good melee infantry unit. We have got pikes here that are wavering now. They're getting like gunned down by these handgunners. They just need to keep shooting these pikes, try and do some damage to them. Oh, get back, boys, now. The pikes are coming. Pokey, pokey. Look at that. Yeah, this is not a fight that the handgunners can win. They need to get out of there. Run away. And there you go. You also have the Pavis crossbows. They're just getting ridden down by this general. He in fact did manage to get out of combat here. With like, the pikes moving up, both generals did part ways. And unfortunately, the Holy Roman Emperor is going to survive. I really should have sent that spear in. In the end, that aggressive push by us did not pay off. It's a sad thing to see. And the gunners here desperately need to get out of here. Get these gunners out of here. These swords are trying to chase them. And I'm quite happy them to do that. I've got my Latin bodyguard here. Now I'll run these guys down. How dare you try and get my gunners. In go the Latin bodyguard. They'll run these guys down. This is an easy win. This is tier 1 versus tier 1 as well. So it's a really good fight for the Latin bodyguard.
The men are wavering.
I don't know who's wavering. Men are wavering. Oh, it's just guys outside the walls that have rallied. That's hilarious. Got the gunners here just firing onto these swords. Really, the Latin bodyguard should have gone in again, just finish these guys off. But there's still plenty of swords here that could have come up and supported that fight, I guess. But yeah, so now the attackers are through the breach point. At this point, they have a 1,400 man advantage. We were still we were a bit disheartened, but we still got some pretty good defensive positions here that are still to be used. The trebuchet as well hasn't been activated yet, and this guy can get 300-400 kills easily if used correctly. So yeah, so we got still got some good opportunities here to get some good kills. Need to start using these Pavis crossbows against the pikes here. These are medium pikes, but really they are fragile if used. And I've got my gunners here. They're firing down just at these pikes. To be fair, at this range, probably not getting great damage because the closer pikes are, the better they do. We've got artillery actually firing in, trying to hit these mounted sergeants here. And here we go. We've got spears now coming up. We've got Ed Scutia, which is a heavy spear unit as well. Like they have, like Venice has just got heavy infantry. They are pretty damn useful actually as Venice as a faction. But yes, it seems as though like the heavy spears being sent in, they're going to try and hold the line. Mounted sergeants on the way. But yeah, as you can see, now that they've come through this flank here, we have to retreat even more. Like with my gunners and my cav, I can't just keep them here. Because currently I was just slowing down the HRE. They weren't doing anything. And the idea is just to slow them down. Time is of the essence for the defenders. They do, for the attackers. They have an hour to take the city. And time is running out. This little light melee infantry here up against the Imperial Ritter is not going to stand a chance. I think this is just a delaying unit. I think. I'm not really sure. I don't know why they sent this in. I think it must have been to delay the enemy. And we've got a mounted sergeant here. I mean, this is probably fairly even to the heavy command here because that's tier 1, this is tier 2, but he's heavy, he's medium, and we're going to see a rear charge here. These light melee infantry are about to get sandwiched like they've never been sandwiched before. Here we go, the Brabantian cav on the way. He's going to do it. Yeah, it's going to hammer an anvil. Route this unit nice and quickly, and there you go, Brabantian sergeants get themselves some easy kills. But yes, if you're enjoying the 12-12 action and would like to see some more, do remember to leave a like, subscribe if you're new around here, and a comment to show your support. It really does help out the channel as we work towards 8k subs. And yes, if you want to see more 12-12 and you don't want to miss out on a single bit of it, make sure to hit that notification bell so you know when every single 12-12 battle and stream is going on. Got the Venetian crossbows here. These are Ballistari Provisionati. I'm glad to see that Venice is not bringing Genoese crossbows. They wouldn't ever outsource to a rival Italian state. Got artillery coming in, hitting this Genoese. This just been talking about Genoa. That's why this Venetian general here getting a good hit on him. We decided. It is general sniping, yes, it is a bit condemned, but to be honest, we were looking at this and thinking, look at the balance of power, we are going to need a general death to even try and shift this around. So just to route one army, we're going to need a general to die here. We've got Ballistari firing onto the Spear Huscarls. This is the problem now. Crossbows come fire just like over anything, so nothing's safe from armor-piercing shots. Which I still think is a little bit mad. It's still a little bit bonkers, to be honest. Because now nothing is safe. That made like longbows actually kind of like worthwhile bringing. Is that they kind of like could arc shots. Now there's no point bringing longbows. You might as well just bring crossbows. Because they're going to... I mean, I guess they outrange slightly crossbows. But it doesn't really matter too much in a siege. Because crossbows have pretty good missile block and also have good armor. Better than longbows, that's for sure. So they can get outranged, they can get into range while being shot and not really bother about it too much. Got Fanti Damar coming up. I think they've also got some Brabantian sergeants in here. Sorry, not crossbows. Yeah, so they got a whole bunch of swords in there. We've got spears holding the line. I'm now setting up gunners on this wall here. Trying to get some flanking shots. I really should set them a little bit further down, but I'm a little scared that if I set them further up down the wall, they're just going to get overwhelmed by enemy archers or crossbows, or just get taken out by enemy infantry that comes up onto the wall. But look at this angle. It looks great. I mean, this mod is amazing. This is a great cool little shot here. There are, in fact, enemy infantry now coming onto the wall to come and deal with these guys. I think it's just a little Brabantian sergeant unit that is being sent there, not sending anything too dedicated. We also have crossbows on the wall here and a little arch unit. This arch unit here was given the job of defending against the crossbows and the gunners against these sergeants, so that the crossbows wouldn't be interrupted and they could just keep firing into the flanks of these Fanti Damar. Because this is a good little choke point. We were like, yeah, we can take some advantages here. Yeah, here come the sergeants, and the crossbows unfortunately are going to be tied down temporarily. But I mean, it's a small sergeant unit. They might break it, to be honest. These Pavi's crossbows are pretty solid in combat. We have now also got gunners over here as well from Venice. He's going to just try and fire up. I don't know if he's really got an angle though. Yeah, he's like firing up onto that wall. from what we can see, you know, with, yeah, it's kind of bouncing off. They kind of look like they're missing most of their shots. It's the morale damage they're doing, and the sergeants are affected by that as well as the defenders. Over on this side, now we were playing a bit of cat and mouse with the pikes and the crossbows, trying to catch them out of position, maybe get a few charges on them, and maybe also try and get a general or two. The Holy Roman Emperor kept coming close to the front lines. I don't know, maybe just to observe the front lines and just see what was going on. But yeah, we couldn't seem to get any good hits on him just yet. A whole bunch of infantry bunched up back here. I'd love to get some great shots on these guys. Like any multiple units that are getting like stacked on top of each other, I'll hit them for sure. I mean, this is a good shock infantry unit to take out as well. I mean, it's like a tier 3 heavy shock infantry unit. Just head to toe and steel. Definitely a very good unit to take out. We did rout those sergeants though. The gunners and the crossbows to take some damage, but they are routing these sergeants down here. The Fancy Damar as well, also not looking too great. So this is what you got to do. These are the sort of fights we should be fighting, really. Unfortunately, on the first wall, I guess we just couldn't really get a good angle, a good advantage. But yeah, this wall defense here is just doing a bit better. Yeah, the gunner is still causing all sorts of issues up here, and they are starting to now do a bit of damage to these crossbows up here. Let's get their point of view as they're just firing down. That's what they're firing. That's the angle they're firing on. It's a clear, like, easy to tell who's friend and who's foe. Just shoot on the left, guys. Shoot anyone on this side here. Anyone not holding us. Yeah, the Fancy Damar here starting to struggle, which is good to see. They're still not even wavering or like losing. They're combat even, which is nuts. To be fair, the Lambert and Spearmen are starting to lose decisively actually, which is a concern. And I mean, the archers are doing okay. They are fighting a fresh sergeant now. That is a bit of a worry though. And the gunners are getting a bit better angles on us. So we'll see what we can do. We've got halberds now moving up. Heavy halberds trying to support this choke point over here. As yeah, the Ayyubids and the Danish are not having much joy against these double-hand sword. I'm going to start that again. Against that double-handed sword unit that is the dismounted Imperial Ritter. Apparently words are hard today. I'm just having brain farts. Yeah, and this is a really good strategy to be fair by the HRE. Certainly something that I'd keep in mind if you ever play HRE. So you can just bring like a whole bunch of shock infantry as swords, and technically it gets around the rules. I mean, unless you're being like extra strict and saying no, you can't bring the tier 1 dismounted Imperial Ritter. To be honest, I don't really mind you doing it. It means you have a full army of shock. It means you're very vulnerable to archer fire and to cav charges and things like halberds like this. So we're going to see whether the halberds do okay. They should do just fine. They're winning decisively. And they're clearing out these guys. Now got Fancy Damar coming up as well. See how these halberds do, but they should do pretty well. Got the two generals over here. Again, I think still looking for opportunities to go for stuff. Really not finding anything. I've been firing my artillery as well constantly, trying to maybe also snipe a general or two. The HRE general is the only one that's really coming forward. The Venetian one and the Brabantian one are way back. Way back. And safe and sound. It looks like they're now going to push onto this other bridge over on this side here. And maybe for this choke point here. It looks like maybe the mounted sergeants here will go for a charge. I mean, to be fair, the swords out here in front of the Tuscars are the wrong way around. They need to be behind the spears, because this is not a good spot for them. Because I mean, good shots by the crossbows though. At least that should do some damage. But yeah, these swords need to get the other side, because the spears can take a cav charge. Swords cannot take a cav charge. And it's just a waste to have them there if they're going to stand like that. The polearms did force back the HRE. And then we ordered him to retreat his Huskars because we knew what was coming next. And we've got a bombard here, and then we've got a crossbows. It doesn't take much to guess what's going to come now. It's going to be a whole wave of archer fire. The swords actually did get beaten back, the Phantom Damar, by the spears here. So well done to them. But the crossbows did get routed, and well, they did rally, but it's not going to mean much. The sergeants here are on the wall. They'll be able to do some damage. We've now got the heavy spear infantry, the Escutia, going in. They're actually kind of dying. I don't know, actually, maybe not. I thought they were dying pretty quickly to these spears, but it's not. There's just two different units in there. I imagine these spears will break through where the swords could not. And yeah, the spears are already losing there. And the sergeants will be able to come off the wall if they wanted to and flank around. I mean, there are Huskars waiting, but whether they'll be used. Here comes a cav charge. Like I said, the Huskars kind of getting wasted here because they should have really been the other way around. The spears are now going into support, though. I mean, the Huskars lost like 50 men, though. This was unnecessary. They didn't need to lose that many men. They didn't have to. But I mean, yeah, the sergeants took a decent amount of losses, but it was definitely worth it for them. Got Latin bodyguard pushing out now. And we also have the other general, the Yuba general. He's over here. And he's going to come inside. He's going to go and try and harass these pikes, I imagine. If we can get the Latin bodyguard beyond these pikes, then they're in trouble, because then these spears can push forward, and then the Latins can, the Latin general can hammer an anvil. So that was the plan. Was at least to try and get one of these pikes, if not both, and then the general starts to arrive. The HRE general is on the way here. As you can see, this, the spears are pushing forward. The pikes now have to return and face them, and now I can hammer an anvil if I want with the general. This is an easy little maneuver here. There is cav on the way, but I'm not too scared about it. It's medium versus heavy. He's much weakened as well after charging the Huskars. We're also going to see the general here, the heavy command going. He's actually managed to take out this general. The Roman Emperor here is in real trouble. He has broken just like that. And then I'm going to hammer and anvil these pikes here and get a nice little charge into the back of them, rout them easily. And that's a pike unit gone. And my artillery there needs to be careful. Oh, jeez, yeah, I need to be careful firing onto spears like that. I think we're just, I don't know what we're trying to hit. The general, maybe that's a bit of a waste of a volley. Need to make sure this general, this Holy Roman Emperor here, actually dies, just to get that morale debuff. But very nice little move there from the Latins and from the Ayubas. It really did work out very nicely. There is a pike still alive here, but we should be able to take this guy out pretty easily. Maybe not charging him head on, but we could definitely try and flank him or something like that. There's now the Venetian general over here. We'll see whether he'll do the same thing. He has got shock infantry support, so maybe not. And another concerning thing is now that we're having a retreat on this side here. They've broken through here, and as you can see, we've now got more Danish troops retreating, and unfortunately, yeah, Huskars are being left behind. I mean, they're already losing the sergeants here. It's never a good sign. Tier 3 against Tier 2. The defenders didn't stand a chance. Yeah, the sergeants win that, and they're getting surrounded anyway. The Huskars here, that is a sad sight to see. But now it's the annoying point. If the defenders can do this right, they can hold this army at these bridges for a long, long time. They just need to stay at the bottom of the bridge here, and then just, because if they go further up, they can get shot in the flank. But yeah, if they stay at the bottom of the bridge there, with their spears in shield wall, they'll be fine. They just have to hold for a long, long time. It'd really be great if they had a Pavy spear or something like that. But unfortunately, none of the factions that we brought have Pavy spears, so that is going to be a problem. We've got some pretty good units left. Noble longswords is a tier 3 shock infantry. We've got the tier 3 heavy halberds from Denmark as well. We've still got a Cavalry, which is a pretty good axe infantry unit. A tier 2 unit. So yeah, some pretty good units still around. King's body. I mean, you got to remember all the bodyguards are here. We've got the gunners as well. This is a tier 3 gunner actually being brought up by the Ubids. There's a Pavy spear going in. I mean, what I'd do if I was the attackers now is I'd send in a shock infantry. They've got loads of shock infantry. Send in one, you'll break through the spear here. That's what I'd do. And the same on this side, really. Or just pikes. They have got the pikes here as well. They're being forced back. Venice is not a fan of that. And we now got gunners coming up here as well. We've got the expensive Landsknecht Butchenschützen. I'd probably butchered that name, but it's HRE like gunners. They're coming up. Again, they also are a pretty good way to try and break through this spear line. But actually, it seems instead of like using any of the tactics I said, they're just gonna focus these spears down. And I mean, they can because Pavy's crossbows can just arc their shots now. So it doesn't really matter. You can just like this is going to be a real problem. I feel like in 12-12 now is crossbows is going to have to be limited. I think because I think they're a bit overpowered. I'm certainly thinking for future sieges that it's going to have to be limited. Or certainly if you're doing like tier 3 battles. Tier 1 crossbows, I feel like against tier 1 infantry and like armies isn't too bad. I feel like they don't really do too much damage, or as much damage, but certainly these tier 3 like heavy crossbows are goddamn like nightmares. And I feel like yeah, we're gonna have to start limiting crossbows in this game, certainly in sieges, just because bringing like 12 of them when the defenders can't is just a massive advantage. I'm just also will just mean that like longbows are still sort of a viable use. We actually have got crossbows. Crossbow sergeant's been thrown in there. I think that was a bit of an accident by the player. But yeah, they're just focusing down like everything that's in range before they go in. So those Pavy's crossbows have been taken out. Got the Brabazonian crossbows here that are trying to respond and try and get some shots back. Don't think they're achieving much, to be honest. But there is one thing that is positive from this, is that the time is going down. I mean, focusing down units is more time consuming than just going in and fighting them. Yeah, the pikes here seem like they're not making much progress, to be honest. The trebuchet is nearly out of ammo. I don't know how many kills it's got, but hopefully it's got a decent amount. It did definitely at some points not really go for blobs. Like now would be a great time to hit for blobs. Like I mean, there's a good blob over here. I think this one was being focused on. But look at this blob of infantry just kind of mingling here, defying the trebuchet. There is, yeah, a massive disadvantage though in numbers at this point. The siege battle is possibly lost now for the defenders. They just have to rely on time if they're going to try and win this one, unfortunately. Really, there should be another infantry unit set up here because holding this bridge is the best choke point that we can hold. Really need to throw something in, but yeah, these swords instead of retreating. I don't know why. It's really not the opportunity they need. Crossbows here as well, still firing like relentlessly on the choke point here. But there you go, the spears have been broken. There's nothing ready to go in. The defenders were not ready for it. They were, I don't know what was happening. I should have mentioned to my allies they need to send something in. Defending this choke point is now like the next area that they can try and defend. But this is tough as well to try and hold back. I mean, this is not going to be easy. At this point, I was like, right, I'm just going to try and use my general. It's a fairly open area here. I can try and get a few charges off the spears. Brabantine Knights here as well. They'll be good unit to hit. If the spears, I can try and do some damage as well. But I'm nearly out as well, so it doesn't really matter to me if I go in or not. Tabaderia going in. it's not really the opportunity. These pikes are still there. They're still going to do some damage to non-pike units. So yeah, can't really have them in there. Yeah, my general's on the way. Just needs to get through. It's like, excuse me, going through. Just get through all you pikemen that are in the way. And we got little units trying to just hold down, tie down units, so that my general can try and do hammer and anvils. Rear charges will do better than frontal charges, unless they're charging at me as well, which if they do that, that's fine. There's a lot of spears and swords actually now landing. Here we go. We're going to see a charge from the Latin bodyguard. In they go. Try to do some damage.
Barricade! The enemy is attacking the barricade!
Yeah, it was a pretty brutal charge for the Latin bodyguard in the sense that they lost a lot of men there. Certainly the retreating, like the spears here did a lot of damage. Charging and getting into more spears. Unfortunately, this is all I could see that was able to be charged. I decided to just not bother to keep my general around for a later stage because I was like, well, if I'm going to do it, I need to slow them down here. Because at this point, there is not much time left. I mean, there's 7 minutes left of this battle. And yeah, we were like, if we just delay them, just delay the attackers, I'll just try and do as much damage as possible and cause as much chaos as possible. The spears are losing. It's like, you charge them, they do lose. But my general fell there. So I was like, screw it, one last hurrah, one last charge. I mean, I'm holding up with my general at the moment, holding up all this infantry. As none of them dare go past the spear line. The spear line gets flattened every time by the bodyguard. It's pretty incredible, actually. And he's rallied, and the spears are going to rout instead, by the looks of it. I mean, this was a healthy speed, and it's down to 37. It's cost me a full unit. Definitely you can do better if you charge non-spear units, but I guess that proves that you can break speed units with Cav. It will just cost you the Cav unit. And I mean, that was a tier 3. I mean, he's actually returned tier 3 against tier 1, so it shows the power of Cav. But yeah, I'm out of men anyway, so I threw my generals to just try and do some damage. We actually have a fight going outside the walls. We still have the Ayubid general here. He got charged by these Brabantian sergeants. But yeah, this is not a fight that the Brabantian sergeants are going to win, I don't think. Well, actually, I don't know. They got the charge on the Ayubids. But, I mean, they're heavy, he's medium. I would have thought that maybe... I'd have thought maybe he'd do okay. He's also popped a rally or something, or a fast charge. I don't feel like this is the right time to use it. I guess if you could use it for the 5% speed, but... He needs to get back inside his own walls and maybe defend there with his comrades. We've got the gunners now here set up. I think they were on the barricade for a bit. They didn't seem to be doing too much damage, unfortunately. It seems it used to be, or at least when it's against me. If you start attacking a barricade as a unit just above you, shooting down, your unit gets obliterated. It doesn't seem to work for us here. I was like, why is this not working? This always works. We've got loads of Brabantian knights here waiting patiently. And again, yeah, the crossbows is just going to keep firing. This is again what I'm saying. They just need to. We might need to start limiting crossbows and stuff in sieges, the 12-12 sieges, because it's just relentless. Just the power of crossbows in sieges now is pretty nasty. Cavalry though holding on this side pretty damn effectively. The pikes, well, I haven't sent in. This is another pike. No, this is still that weakened Swiss infantry, Swiss pike unit. Yeah, the Cavalry are doing okay against the Fanti Damar here. But yeah, the pikes getting reintroduced into the fight. This is certainly going to turn the fight back in favour of the attackers. All of these Christian troops here getting revenge on the Ayubids for their treatment of the Crusaders. But you know what? Actually, the Cavalry are winning this fight. They're gonna rout most of these guys here, it seems. That's pretty damn impressive. Swords here losing, unfortunately, to shock infantry. We're now going to see the halberds go in. They're getting focused down as they move forward here. The swords unfortunately broke, and the halberds now have the job to fight on their own. I would have preferred if they had infantry support, because then the shielded infantry could have, you know, protected them a little bit. And also, these guys wouldn't have been able to retreat as easily. But yeah, now the halberds are going to retreat. And this is just kind of what this choke point's turning into. It's just turning into a bit of a backstreet scrap. And in goes a sword unit here. Going to try and challenge the shock infantry again. Again, the halberds need to go back in there. Try and help fight this out. Here they come. They're bloodied up at this point, these Danish halberds. They've seen, well, they've actually not seen a lot of action. They've just seen a lot of bolts come and hit them. Yeah, they're losing decisively. They're not even in the fight, really. They're just getting focused down. It's brutal, really. There are 3 minutes left of this siege battle. Do you think the defenders hold on, or do you think the attackers are going to just about break through and take this battle? Let me know what you think. We've got halberds here now defending this side. They're going to try and deny the swords here. There are gunners coming up, so they need to be careful of those. The general here is wavering, by the way, for the U-Bits, which is really weird. He's still fairly healthy. And, I mean, the U-Bits still had some men left, and like me, the Danish are still standing strong. But yeah, unfortunately, yeah, you got like Danish troops now starting to rout over here. These noble longswords could do with going into this fight down here. This would be a fight for them, but instead he's sending them this way. Don't know why. He just needs to send in his heavy halberds here and his general. The longswords need to go this way, really. But here we go. We've got a general. We've got the Uber general going in. He's charging into these handgunners. He's got a good charge off on them. That'll silence them for good. And then now, really, we've got to see... we've got the halberds luckily rallying over there, but they need to get more infantry over there. The Danish need to send their troops that way. Looks like they could rout everything on this side, though, could the defenders. The U-Bits with an excellent charge there really did do a lot of damage. But yeah, as you can see, look at this. Look at all of this infantry that's now just rushing through. It's insane. Not exactly really the closest of battles in the sense of numbers left, but it really did come down to time. The defenders just delayed and delayed and delayed the attackers. They did a really good job. I'm trying to think of, with like 12-12 evolving, trying to think of new rules to maybe try and balance it out. Maybe this was just an anomaly and we just had a bad game. But I certainly think now with the crossbows, which I feel like were a thing that favored defenders, now I think are much more favourable for attackers. We're going to have to try and do a rule there. Maybe artillery as well, like wall artillery. I usually ban, unless like the defenders are going to bring just one wall artillery and no like field artillery. Maybe I'll change that so wall artillery can be used, so that defending the walls is a bit more reasonable for the defenders. I don't know. I haven't really decided yet. I certainly feel like it's a bit of a lost hope playing as defenders. I haven't really done it in a little while, but certainly with this new update that adds crossbows, I'd say that maybe yeah, defending could do with being improved a little bit. Doge of Venice here was defeated, by the way. So we got two of the generals. We were like, oh, screw it, let's see if we can get a third. Don't think we'll win, but we can at least try and kill all the generals. The Duke of Brabant is only a tier 2. I don't know. I can't remember what he is. Oh no, King's Bodyguard's only a tier 1. Yeah, he's going to lose this fight, sadly. He also might just die from army losses anyway. And the horde of infantry now comes through. We've got the gunners up here trying to do some damage. I think they're shooting on the general here. He is losing, actually. But the King's Bodyguard loses and routs. And there you go. It's a valiant defeat. There was literally like a minute or two left, though, for the defenders to win. So it was going to be a close run thing, that's for sure. But a valiant defeat there for the Latin Empire and its allies. We'll end the replay and have a look at the end result. Like I said, I was playing as one of the Latin Empire. I didn't really have a great game. My defending skills just aren't up to scratch, that is for sure. My infantry and stuff just got outclassed because it was tier 1 against tier 3. My crossbows did okay, getting 148 kills. And my chevaliers that I kept doing sally outs with didn't really actually pay off. Maybe it was better just keeping them inside. But 225 kills for the trebuchet is not bad, and 235 kills for my general is not bad at all. But yeah, really disappointing game for myself, I felt. But yeah, well done to Agrippa and to Planto, who I felt like had a bit of stronger games as on the defenders here. I mean, 271 kills with the general here. I mean, we got 111 with the dismounted Mamelukes, 132 with the gunners. and 97 with the spears here. I feel like his infantry did a little bit better, but not much better. Then we've got Planto playing as Denmark. 107 kills with the halberds, not bad at all. 78 kills with these long swords. Actually, I don't think, and then 98 kills with these crossbows. Yeah, to be fair, Planto had a bit of a rough game as well. Then we have Prince Ali here playing as the Republic of Venice. 105 kills with his heavy shock infantry here. And they're healthy still. The spears here getting 136 kills, 108 with the other. Fancy Damar getting 209, 192, 280 kills. 280 kills. My gosh. Then we got the Ballastari here getting 191 kills, 252. Like you can see, they're just nasty. It's where the crossbows got all the kills in this game. Sharp here playing as the Duchy of Brabant, 198 kills with his shock infantry. His sergeants 290 kills. His sergeants, mounted sergeants, getting 116 kills. His crossbows actually didn't do too great, only 69 kills, and his bombard 67 kills. Then we have Ascetic Monkey, who again did really well with his crossbows here, 357 kills with his crossbows, 189 with another here. Dismounted Imperial Rissy getting 199, 224 kills, 272. And then the Swiss Pikes getting 184, and the Holy Roman Emperor getting 135 kills. So yeah, crossbows might need to start limiting in siege battles. They are a bit nasty. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy the 12-12 siege. If you did, do remember to leave a like, subscribe if you're new around here, and a comment to show your support. And I'll see you guys in the next one.